Can't decide between a bladder or a bottle? I've got a piece of DIY gear to solve your issue.
Hello, Chris here today, and I would like to talk to you about a piece of DIY gear that I've created based on actually a suggestion from someone who commented on one of my videos. I've been debating for a long time. I've been a solid hydration bladder user for a long time. I love these things. I love the convenience of being able to sip as I go on the trail via the drinking hose from them. So I've always loved that sort of form factor and way to hydrate. But everyone almost exclusively uses bottles on the trail, and I've always found trying to chicken wing myself and pull that bottle out of the pack is kind of a pain. But I love the convenience of being able to pour it out right into a cook pot or a food package. As an example, the bladder itself is pretty difficult to mess with because you got to get it out of your pack, and getting it in and out can be a pain. So the bottle has a lot of convenience factors. So what I ended up doing, I got a comment and a couple of links. I looked on Amazon and I found a couple of commercial products that are available that screw on to either Nalgene bottles or regular like smart water bottles. But I already had a big zip with a hose. It's off now. So I decided I would just make my own, and that's what I did. And I came up with this guy here, which is, right now, these are the 700 ml smart water bottles, and they come with sort of a nozzle. They're not like the regular tops on the 1 liter bottles, but they thread onto the 1 liter bottles. So my plan in the end is to replace these bottles with 2 1 liter bottles as opposed to the 700 ml. But I can use this now I can put this in my pack and then drink with it out of a straw. And when I want to pour out of the bottle, I can unscrew this guy off of here and use it. So I wanted to use this video today to show you how to make one of these, because it was really simple, and I was amazed at how easy it was and how close this opening already is to the outside diameter of the tubing. So let's talk about the materials you're going to need. First off, smart water bottle. I went with the 750 ml top bottle because it has the nice nipple top on it, and that's what you need. The regular ones are just like a soda bottle, and they're not very useful. This makes making the project a whole lot easier. So I've never seen the liter ones with this type of top on them, so you have to get the 750 mLs and then buy the liter ones, switch the tops, and you're done. So you need one of these. I got 2 because I want 2 of these. I'm going to create 2 just in case one has an issue. I can switch between bottles, no problem. You need a hose from a hydration bladder. This happens to be from the Big Zip 3 liter from Platypus. You can probably use any one. I assume the tubing is all about the same diameter, but you'd have to check. I'll include a link to this down below. A replacement one is like $15 on Amazon. I happen to have one, so I'm going to just use that. Pocket knife, that's for hollowing out the tip. You need to do that just a little bit. And then you need a rubber band, smallish rubber band. This is what I found. The hose would slip out of the bottle over time, so I put this inside the cap, and I'll show you how to do that, just to keep the hose down in the bottom of the bottle, because of course as you drink it, the water level is going to go down. So first things first, you have to get this fitting, which goes into, this is what connects to the bladder. It's a quick connect fitting in the hose. You have to get this out of the tube because you're not going to use it. So you'll clip it back into the bladder for storage, but you need to get it out of the tube. So all you have to do for that is get yourself a hairdryer. Don't use a heat gun. You'll melt the hose. A hairdryer, and warm this end of the tube up, and this thing slips right out. Now it's not in there all the way right now because I already took it out, but this fitting slips right out. You can get it back in by just heating it up again and jamming it in there. You may be able to push it in there cold, but I heat it first. It makes it easier. Anyways, these are barbed, so you have to loosen. You have to let this expand, the tubing expand around them to slip it off. You don't just yank it out. You can damage the end of the hose. All right, so once you have that done, you throw that away because you no longer need it. So now you have the hose. And so you have to deal with, what do I do now with this? Because by default, the normal diameter, it won't fit. This one is hollowed out, so I'll show you this one. It can fit through. Okay, that'll slide right in there because I've already modified it to make this opening larger. If you look at one that hasn't been modified, it it won't fit in. And I tried pinching it through here and everything else, and I couldn't get to go. This is pretty, it's flexible, but it's not like you can pinch it way down to fit it through. But what I noticed, and it was funny because this is how I actually figured out what I wanted to do, I noticed it fit really nicely inside, pretty snugly. And I was looking at the construction to figure out, hey, this is narrower. How that narrowness, it's right at the tip. So it's really easy to hollow out. So all you have to do, really, is you take your pocket knife and you simply stick the blade in and start scraping around. It's a relatively slow process, but you want this to be as small as possible, but still let the hose through. You don't, obviously it's not going to be a full seal. You're not looking for an airtight seal here. But you just keep doing that, and hopefully you can see these little shavings there that are coming out. You just keep doing that, and you keep testing the hose, and you smooth it out. You can get in there with a file, I suppose, if you needed to. I just used the tip of my pocket knife here. Kept going around and around, and the good part about this is because all you need is a pocket knife, you can remake these on the trail if you need to without much problem. So you just keep going around. You don't want to cut through the wall. You don't need to. And you sort of test it as you go. You know, it's actually getting pretty close already there. You can see there's not much to it. Keep scraping around the inside until such time as it fits through. Sometimes you can pluck a good piece out of there. There we go. We take a look at that, and there you go. Fits through. So you can see I didn't have to scrape away but a few millimeters of material. Not much at all. Now, the issue I was talking about before, and the reason you need the rubber band, is that when you screw this guy in here, all right, if you're messing with this thing, right, so now it's screwed and it's full of water and sitting in your pack, that'll pull out. And if it gets too high, you don't want to be messing. It slides fairly easily. I don't have to pull on it very hard. So what I decided to do is you get here, and I'm actually going to find a marking. Once I have the liter bottles, I'm going to find a marking and make a mark on the hose so I know the where on the hose it has to be. You take your rubber band. Smaller one's probably better than this. Doesn't matter. This particular one has to go around it 4 times, just like your, I don't know if you've ever had long hair, 5 times, just like you would for a ponytail. And you slide this guy up to wherever that marking was. I don't have it on here yet, but essentially what you're trying to do is find it so the hose is suspended on the bottom of the bottle. And you'll notice when you slide this down here, now it won't come out. So that's good. So you take your bottle on, and that's a little too long. See how it's the hose there is hitting the bottom of the bottle. It's a little too long, but probably doesn't matter. You can slide that pretty good and give that guy a twist. And you are done. Now, because this is not, and you can see now there's more resistance. If you give it a huge yank, it will come out. But there's good resistance there now. You should be good. And so you can tell this isn't an airtight seal, so you're not going to have the problem where this bottle is, you know, you're creating a vacuum inside the bottle. So you don't need to poke a hole anywhere or anything. But then you can just put this in your pack, thread this through as you normally would, and now you've got both the bottle container plus you've got the ease of drinking out of a tube. So I really like this. The other cool thing about these nipples, these nipple fittings, which I didn't realize, I saw it on a video somewhere, but if you carry a Sawyer squeeze water filter like I do, you know that they give you a syringe and you have to do this back flush. Well, these nipples fit over here pretty well, and you could stick the rubber band around this end and jam it on there to get a better seal, but you're going to be able to force water with your water bottle back through. So you can back flush these filters using these nipples as well. So another advantage to carrying the bottle instead of the hydration bladder. So that's how I've decided to solve this issue, and this is what I'm going to be going for when I start my AT hike here in about a month. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. It was a quick DIY gear video. It cost me about $15 for the hose, which I didn't even have to buy because I already had it. But $15 for the hose, a couple bucks for the water bottles, and you're done. You have a rubber band, you have a pocket knife. You don't need to worry about that stuff. And it's a good compromise between a bladder, so you get the convenience of drinking out of a hose and not having to chicken wing yourself to grab the bottle out of your pack. And at the same point, you have the convenience of a bottle, so you can pour water into it. You can drink really fast if you want to, which is what the hoses kind of slow you down in that regard. And you don't have to get the bladder in and out of your pack. So it's got a lot of convenience. So I hope you found this useful. If you did, please click that like button, click the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you have any questions, comments, other suggestions for DIY gear, please throw it in the comments down below. And as always, I really appreciate you watching. Thanks very much, and I'll talk to you soon.